This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2018 Cruiser Aire fifth wheel model 30MD. Okay. So let me, I'm on the door side of the trailer. Walking towards the rear now. Okay. So, you have automatic leveling system called ground control by Lippert. It's a 6-point system, so that means you've got 4 rams plus the landing gear up front, so that makes 6. You have I think 3 slide outs on this one: a door side, off door side, and a wardrobe bedroom slide. Okay. Now your steps fold into the trailer. They're very stable. If you're on uneven terrain and you have to adjust the length of these legs here, you can pull this pin out right here. There's one on each side, and level it. You always want to make sure that this piece is pretty much parallel with the threshold. That way the door will close without binding up. So keep that in mind. Your spare tire, of course, is under here. Okay. This is your basement area here. Your ground control panels on the other side. You got 2 30-pound LP tanks. Okay, they're both full. You have a 27 series deep cycle marine battery in your front compartment. Okay. The other 30-pounders behind there. So the ground control, the directions for it, let me see, I can show you upside down, are right here, so you can always refer to it without having to pull the manual out. It's basically very simple. Let me shut this light off, see if I can see anything in here. We might have a hard time. But basically you just turn it on right here. It'll auto level. I have not leveled it yet, that's why it's telling us that it's out of level. We just pulled it up here and I haven't done anything with it yet. But you'll push auto level basically and it'll just do just that. If you want to get into the system to do manual functions, you can use these keys here, right, or these buttons here, of course. But you'll basically, for example, you can push retract and then scroll through it by using these arrows. Drop front jacks. Auto reconnect, which is a auto hitch height. Basically, it'll remember the last hitch height that you had when you unhitched from your tow vehicle. Manual mode, you can do everything manually, so that sort of thing. And it'll ask you to enter when you want to select something on the little screen there. You just put enter and it'll select it. Okay. But when you come to pick up the trailer, we can go through all that and you can check everything out. Okay. You have this hose here is a sprayer, and the other hose is your dump hose. Okay. This is the outside of your water heater. The controls are on the inside, but as you can see, this trailer is winterized right now. The water heater tank is empty, so here's the plug for it right here, and that's where it screws into right there. This is your pressure release valve there. The important thing to remember is obviously never pull the plug or vent it when there's hot water in it. I know it's pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised. So you always want to make sure it cools down before you do that, so you don't scald yourself or worse. Okay, so let's move this way. Actually, you have 2 slides on. Yeah, I said 2, I think, didn't I? Oh, you got 3 slides on this side. Okay, I'm seeing that now. This particular model of slide out, just so you know, are called Accu slides. I think they're made by BAL, and just so you know, you have Accu slides. You can tell by the cable system here. Okay. This is the vent for your furnace. These are the control or the access panels for your refrigerator. Keep in mind that this little hose should always be draining out right here. This is to drain condensation that is created during the cooling process. So you want it to drain to the outside. Also, this is the vent for your range hood. That's over your stove. So if you're going to use the exhaust fan, that's where it exhausts. You have to get up on a ladder, or unless you're really tall, but you just pull those tabs forward and it frees up the baffle inside. So you want the baffle to flap freely when you're venting. So you always want to do that first. But if you're any other time pulling it, just sitting there, just keep it shut. The only time you're going to open those up is when you want to vent. Okay, so this is your water station here. The blue coiled hose I showed you plugs right into here. And this is just cable and satellite through. Okay, this is your city water hookup right here. You're just going to hook the hose on. It should be in this position. This blue lever should be in that position. You can see the drawing right here. That's city water. Now, if you wanted to fill your onboard tank, let's say you're going to camp in a campground that does not have plumbing on the campsites, you would switch this to this position, and this will fill the onboard tank, and then you can use the pump to pump it out, or I should say to pressurize the trailer so all the plumbing works. So this is normal city water. That's what you're going to use almost always, but occasionally you can go to fill up your tank. Okay. The last other thing to know is this is the black tank flush right here. After you dump your black tank, which is toilet water and waste, you'll hook the hose at the dump station onto here, leave the black tank valve open, turn on the water, and it'll spray out the inside of your tank. It'll clean off your sensors and that sort of thing. Also, while I'm standing here, this is a 50 amp system, of course. So you got a 30-foot 50 amp cord, and then it's reduced down. And we give you enough fittings to reduce down to 15 amp. This right now is reducing down to a 30. So you have 50, 30, or 15. Keep in mind on 15 amps, you're not going to be able to run the air conditioner if you plug it in at home or just into a regular outlet. So always keep that in mind. Okay, your rack on the back just folds down, and you can lock it into place with those pins here. Okay, you have a ladder to access the roof, which is a really good thing because you want to inspect the roof of the trailer 3 times a season. You figure in the spring, the middle of the summer, and the fall. You also want to, or you can look at it like every 90 days or so, but you'll go up there or send somebody up there, walk around, you can walk on it, no problem. You check all the sealant from the factory. You're looking for cracking or separation. Some years, sometime you'll see some, and when you do, you touch it up. You don't have to redo the entire roof, just that area. So keep in mind, it's very, very important to inspect the seals. A lot of owners don't, but it's really something that goes with owning a trailer, so you should always do it. It's for your own good, for your own protection, okay? Also, that housing up there tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. It takes a Furion camera that fits in that housing, so just if you're gonna, we sell them here, but you can get them other places. Just make sure you get the one that fits in that housing, okay? All right, so let's go inside. This is very, very nice inside. Now you mentioned something, or the salesman mentioned something, that you want this couch out, so we will pull that out for you when you get here, and we'll put it in wherever you want, in the back of your tow vehicle. Whatever you want us to do, we'll take care of it for you, okay? Alright, so let's see. This is the control panel right here. So your slide outs here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 1 and 2 are the front ones, 3 and 4 are the rear, or the center and rear. This is for your power awning. Keep in mind that when you send the power awning out, let me just show you here, like so. When you send it out, it goes out 8 feet, and you'll see you're all the way out when the awning tube is exposed, so you'll know that you've reached the end of the fabric. So figure 8 feet, but the main thing is never leave it out unattended. So if you're not going to be at the campsite, you definitely want to roll it in, because the wind can come up very quickly and cause damage. So always leave it in when you're not at the campsite. Alright, so I told you there's an onboard water pump. You use that for winterizing and for pumping water out of the fresh water tank. That pump is right there. You can light the water heater on gas there, or on electric, which is most people use electric right there. Always make sure there's water in your water heater tank before you turn on any energy source. You do that just by, if you're hooked up to city water, you'll just turn on the hot water valve on your faucet, the hot water side, and if it's empty, air will come shooting out, and as it fills, it'll be a mixture of air and water. Then eventually it'll be solid water. That's how you know that it's full, when solid water comes out. These are just lights here, and these are to test your levels. Your battery's charged. Fresh water has water in it, but we're still testing it here. Black is empty. You only have 1 black tank, so you don't have to worry about 2. Gray is empty, and gray tank number 2 has some water in it, but we're still testing, so they'll all be empty. So that's how you test it. It goes up in 1/3 increments, right? And when it gets to, they light up obviously as it goes. When it gets to 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping your black and gray tanks. So keep that in mind. Also, your thermostat is very simple. You just push mode once to light it up. Then you can cycle through. That's auto fan. The fan is the air conditioner running without the compressor. That is auto cool. And this is auto furnace, right? And off. So there's a lag time. I'm going to go to furnace here. Okay. Always running on auto. If I was to change, once I select, let's say air conditioner, once I select it, I could go push these buttons to go to high or low or auto. Always run everything on auto. That's important. If you ever find that 2 things are running at once, like you turn on your heater and your air conditioner fan, excuse me, is running, just go to the air conditioner fan and I guarantee you it's on low or high instead of auto. So keep that in mind. If that ever happens, just switch it to auto and you'll be all set. It'll solve the problem immediately. Okay, down here, this device is your power converter. It converts 110 AC to 12 volt DC. If I can get it open here. Come on. Okay. So you see I have regular 110 volt AC circuit breakers here, just like you would at home, and they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. You can see you have 12 volt fuses here, and they're labeled. If these fuses ever blow, they'll actually light up, and you can see them through this tinted plastic here. So if you see something glowing in there, you know you blew a fuse. Also, importantly, this is a battery charger / tender. So as long as you're plugged into shore power, it'll sense how much energy your battery up front needs and has, and it'll keep it charged. It'll trickle just a few amps. It'll trickle just a few amps if it's charged, or it can send 10 amps if you're really low. It just depends. It'll make that decision when it senses what kind of energy you have in there. So keep that in mind when you're plugged in. That charges your battery. Okay, so let's go in the living area. TV works like any other TV, although this is on a swivel out bracket. Let me see here. We've got a light here. Okay. Alright, so that locks into place. Or does it have straps? I better give you the right information here. No, it looks like it's got a magnet on it and it locks into place. Okay. The second thing is your radio / disc player. Of course, it plays CDs and DVDs in here. You can stream off this USB stick, so you can put all your favorite albums on one little USB drive, plug it in, take them with you. You can stream with Bluetooth from your phone or tablet. With this also, you have 2 speaker zones. Zone 1 is in here. Zone 2 is the outside speakers. So you can turn them on and off, select one or the other. So there's a lot you can do with it. It's certainly everything you need for camping. So, okay, and it has a remote control too right there. So does the TV set. Your table, if you wanted to, you can pull the poles out, or the posts out, and just lay the tabletop onto these cleats here. You can see them, and then you use the back cushions. You can make that into a bed. This is the 3-panel hide-a-bed, and it's all foam panels. So you're basically going to pull these off like so. Your cushions, your back cushions, and set them aside. Then you're going to grab it down here and pull it out and fold out the sections, and you've got a pretty nice hide-a-bed. It's not like the old ones where you have springs and a bar on your back. It's pretty comfortable. Okay. Your refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator, meaning it'll run on 110 AC or it'll run on LP gas. All right, so it's very simple. This is 2 buttons, on and off here, and you select your button here. So hopefully you can see this. On, and then you're going to select auto. Auto is where you're almost always going to be. Auto means electric. The reason they call it auto is because it automatically seeks out 110 AC when you turn it on, and if it can't find it, it'll automatically switch to gas. It always chooses electricity first. Let's just say you're out exploring. You leave early in the morning to go out exploring for the whole day. It's a nice hot day, and an hour after you leave, the campground loses its power. Well, this will sense that, and it'll automatically switch over to gas for you, so it don't spoil your food. So you can use this pulling it down the road to keep it cool. You can dedicate it to gas by going like that. But keep in mind, if you have it on auto and it can't find electricity, it'll switch to gas anyway. So it'll always do that. The other thing to know about this is the temperature. To set the temperature, this thing's called a thermistor here. You slide it up as high as it goes so the wires taunt like it is. You can see there's a sticker there that says higher you go, the cooler it gets, the lower the warmer. You're going to have it till it's taut, as high as it goes, and just you keep it, always keep it like that. I mean, if it gets cold outside and your refrigerator starts to frost up, you'll know you need to turn it down a bit. But normally you're going to have it up all the way. Okay. Let me get some more light here. So I showed you your vent outside for the fan. This is the fan here. 2 speeds and off. Then you got a light here. 2 speed or two. What would you call it? 2 intensities, half and full. I guess that's what you'd call it. Okay. Your stove is pretty simple. You can see it's got a blue picture of a flame there. So you go to the flame. You need 2 hands really. You depress it and light it. Right. So always keep in mind you depress these. It's a safety feature. So you have to have this depressed when you spark it to get it to light. That's for all the burners. The oven, you just basically turn it to light, and it'll keep sparking until it lights. Okay, so it's very simple, and that's a timer there. All right, so let's see what else we have here of importance. There should be a LP carbon monoxide detector down here. Oh, here it's over here. This device detects LP buildup if you have an LP leak or carbon monoxide buildup. If an appliance is malfunctioning, let's say. But you can self-test it like this. It'll go through 2 tests, one for gas, LP gas, this one for carbon monoxide, and back to green. It should always be green. Now if you hear that same beep, but it's really, really slow, it's telling you that your battery's low. So it'll also warn you about a low battery. It should always be green like that. If it's not, you want to get it taken care of, okay? So you got a TV hook up here. You can set one right here. You got a nice dresser there. Lights here. Okay. Sliding door. Okay. So up to the bathroom. The main thing to know about the bathroom has to do with the toilet. The sink and the shower work pretty much like any other sink and shower. Okay. Let me get this off so we can. Excuse my camera work. It's hard to do this with one hand and head cook and bottle washer when it comes to this. So it's just a regular shower, of course. You always want to run the fan in your roof vent with the shower to pull the humidity out. These trailers are built really tight these days, so you want to pull out the humidity. Okay, so you see there's antifreeze in it. Now, the black tank is directly below, right down there. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your water and your power, that sort of thing, level the trailer. You'll come in here, and the first thing you have to remember is that you can't use the toilet unless you have a little bit of water in the tank and chemical. So you take your chemical, whichever brand you use, read the directions, and put 1 dose right in the bowl. Then you'll stand on the flush pedal, which is right down here, by the way. Stand on the flush pedal. Water will be swirling out, and you just stand on it long enough to put about 1 gallon of water in the tank. There's no way to tell exactly what that is, so you just use common sense. The bottom line, like I said, it has to have some water in it and chemical when you start using it, if the black tank's empty. So, let's put it this way, if you don't do it that way, you'll regret it. The smell's really bad, and you definitely won't do it twice. So you got to have some water in there. Okay, this is just a GFCI. There should be 2 of them in this trailer. One is in the back, one is here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. So if it ever pops, like the one on the outside pops, when you're using a coffee pot, let's say, you would reset it here, okay? Alright, you got your wardrobe here in the bedroom. This is pre-wired for a second air conditioner. That's why you have a 50 amp system. So that's what the sticker's telling us. You can drop an air conditioner right in there if you ever want to add another one. It's already pre-wired. There's storage underneath the bed, like a foot locker, of course. Alright, let me come back through this way. I think we've pretty much gone through everything. Let me see. Okay. Yes, I think we've pretty much covered everything. So, one thing, first of all, let me thank you for purchasing your trailer from us here at National RV Detroit. And second of all, I want to reiterate, I want to make sure that you understand you have to check the seals on the roof and the ones on the sides from the factory. Like the corner moldies are important, but pay special attention to the roof. It's something that has to be inspected regularly, and it's very important if you own a trailer, because if you keep after it, it'll never get wet inside, and it'll last a long, long, long time. So keep that in mind. Okay, thank you very much. Also, before I stop, I want to tell you once again that the trailer is winterized right now. So there's antifreeze in the system, and it'll have to be de-winterized when you start using it. So okay, thank you.